What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and tonight I've got some football focus. It is like Christmas for us football fans, for those of you guys that watch the channel, for the Steelers. Here we go. Pittsburgh is back. Football is back. Preseason is here. The Steelers played their first preseason game against the Houston Texans at home in Acrisure Stadium. First game just ended. Pittsburgh lost, final score 20-12. Houston gets the win. No big deal. Scores don't matter in preseason. Wins and losses don't matter. What you want to see is the players that are standing out. You want to see your young players making plays. You want to see guys trying to make the team. You want to see stats worth talking about. So I'm not going to give you guys the usual regular season rundown of all the stats and everything numbered by numbers, but I'm going to give you guys pluses and minuses, guys that stood out to me as positive, negative, or up and down. That's what I'm going to do for you guys for preseason. It's super hot in this kitchen, so please excuse my sweating and breathing issues. But here we go. Excited for the Steelers to be back. Number one, quarterbacks. We're going to just dive right into it, guys. The game just ended about 20 seconds ago. Here we are. Glad football is back. Justin Fields started the game. Russell Wilson did not play. Justin Fields started off kind of rough. Stats didn't look very bad in terms of numbers, but it looked a little bit janky passing the ball. Using his feet, got out of a couple sacks. The line did not start off very well. The starting offensive line didn't look great at first. So Justin Fields did a nice job getting out of some sacks and making them look a little better than they actually were tonight. Same goes for Kyle Allen later on in the game. But first quarter, Justin Fields made a couple nice plays, namely 2 to Van Jefferson and 2 to George Pickens. The second one, Van Jefferson caught for a first down, and Tomlin didn't challenge it. Both of his feet were down in bounds. Wound up being a turnover for the Steelers, so ended in no points. Justin Fields did have 2 of his 3 drives where they were driving downfield, but again, like I said, did not end in points. So came away the starting offense with nothing, in spite of one good Najee Harris run, 2 good George Pickens catches, and 2 nice Van Jefferson catches. Van Jefferson was somebody I was looking forward to seeing tonight and seeing what he could do. Really important to see him running routes, beating guys, and getting himself open and making a few catches. So certainly not all bad from Justin Fields. Yeah, a couple did good throws, a couple they were meh, but honestly the biggest problem with the starting offense tonight was the center to Fields hands-off. Wow, that wasn't an English sentence. The Nate Herbig to Justin Fields handoffs. There were 2 fumbles on center snaps, and I don't know necessarily if they were Fields issues or Herbig issues, but let's just say after 2 drives and 2 fumbles from Herbig, he was taken out pretty quickly after that second drive. So with them bringing Zach Frazier in that quickly, you have to think those were Nate Herbig issues, which scares me if they're looking at him being the starting center and not being that thrilled so far with Zach Frazier's development. So starting line overall, not the best tonight. Sayamalu didn't play, so we're not counting him in that. Broderick Jones had a couple nice blocks, but overall, Dan Moore didn't look especially great, and Nate Herbig, one of the biggest minuses of the night. Zach Frazier was kind of quiet overall. But then, I'm going to go by position here. So Kyle Allen comes in after the first quarter, plays the rest of the game, starts off also pretty weak, kind of the same thing, gets a lot of pass rush in his face, doesn't do a whole lot, does use his legs nicely to step up and avoid sacks, to get out of the pocket a little bit, make a couple nice throws. But the first half, we had no points and not much positive to talk about. Second half, we do score 2 touchdowns, 1 missed extra point, 1 failed 2-point conversion, but 12 points. So essentially 2 touchdowns. Allen does look a lot better in the second half, finds his footing, gets out of some sacks, and makes some nice plays downfield. So I think overall, while neither guy looked great or terrible, I think especially in the second half, Kyle Allen was your quarterback winner tonight, even though he was playing against backups. Running backs, 2 guys stood out to me as positives in this game, Dajon Edwards and Jonathan Ward. Dajon Edwards came in by the undrafted rookie from Georgia. I was looking at him big time as a player to watch tonight. He comes out, decent first run, second run breaks for a 24-yarder, best run of the night in my opinion, and then plows ahead for a touchdown. So 3 positive runs on his opening drive, plus a touchdown. Then also gets a catch on the last drive of the game, makes a guy miss, and gets a 9-yard gain on a pass reception. So overall, Dajon Edwards is my number 1 running back for this game. Jonathan Ward played pretty well, quiet guy, kind of been in and out of a bunch of systems, including ours. Played pretty well tonight also. Hard guy to bring down, bounced off a couple tacklers. also had a 20-plus yard run, so the second biggest run of the night for Jonathan Ward. So Edwards and Ward are my 1 and 2 as far as my positive surprises running the ball tonight. Not a bad day running the ball for us overall. Wide receivers, like I said, a couple nice plays from Pickens, as you would expect, as it should be. Van Jefferson coming in, starting at the number 2 receiver spot. Wanted to see him make a couple nice plays downfield. He made 2. 2 for 2, including the one that wasn't given to him that was actually a catch. Calvin Austin started slow, didn't do much early, came in later in the game, made a couple nice plays downfield, 2 in the fourth quarter on a couple back-to-back nice drives from Allen. 2 nice plays for Calvin Austin down there, making some guys miss, looking fast, getting himself open on some nice stack receiver formations. A lot of stack, a lot of motions. Good stuff. I like what the coordinator is doing so far, in spite of the fact that we didn't look great in the first half. Calvin Austin gets a pair of really nice catches. Scotty Miller gets 3 nice catches. One short one sitting down in the middle of the field. Another one kind of where he sits down in the zone. And then a third one where he beats a guy and makes a nice hands catch over the top on a nice throw by Allen and a nice catch by Scotty. They also went for Scotty on a 35-yard downfield deep shot where he had the guy beat, but Allen overthrew it and threw it into a safety who almost picked it off. It was out of bounds. So Miller getting open, making a few plays as well. So Jefferson, Austin, Miller all looking good. Des Fitzpatrick also gets 2 nice plays. He's looking quick getting off the ball. He's getting a little bit of separation, and he's got pretty strong hands. He's always a camp guy that always stands out in camp, always plays decent in preseason, never quite makes the team. Is this going to be the year? I don't know. Lots of competition, but Des Fitzpatrick playing pretty well today. All 4 of those guys get pluses for me. Minus on the wide receiver side is a guy who didn't play much wide receiver today. Quez Watkins only touched the ball once tonight from my recollection. That was on a punt return, was floating back. The punt was over his head. He tried to catch it over his shoulder, dropped it, muffed it, and lost it. Fumble lost for Quez Watkins tonight. When you touch the ball one time and you're fighting to get on the team by virtue of returns and wide receiver stuff, the other receivers are making plays. You try to get a return and you fumble. Not a good look. Minus for Quez Watkins tonight. Connor Haywood comes out there, gets a touchdown at tight end. Not much tight end stuff to show tonight. Muth with 1 catch, couple blocks downfield from Washington. Neither of those guys got heavily involved. Wanted to see a little more out of Washington. Not much today, but Connor Haywood does get a touchdown. Nice play. Again, I already said Nate Herbig gets a big minus. Troy Fautanu plus and minus. Fautanu comes in on the second or third drive. Comes out on the first one of the first 2 plays of his first drive, gets beaten around the edge really quickly on a sack, looks really bad, gets blown back by speed off the edge and gets the quarterback sacked quickly. Second series he comes out, gets out in space and gets a nice block where he knocks a guy back. So makes up for it and then looks pretty good the rest of the time. So 1 really bad play, 1 really good play, and the rest were kind of in the middle. So I'm going to give Fautanu a plus/minus for his Steeler debut. That's all I got for the offense overall so far. Talking about defense, pluses and minuses. Pittsburgh doesn't get gashed for a lot of big plays. Just like chunk plays where guys were either out of position or they had diagnosed the play properly and then not executed the tackle. So we got a couple of dumb things. JPJ with a bad pass interference where he held the guy too much. Just some guys out of position missing tackles. Overall, that's the problem on defense. But a couple guys do stand out here. Cam, obviously the stars didn't play. No Minka, no TJ, no Highsmith, no Cam Hayward, obviously. But DeMarvin Leal, Isaiah Loudermilk, and Montravis Adams all get pluses for me. DeMarvin Leal looks much smaller. He lost a lot of fat, trimmed himself down, got himself in shape, looks fast, showing some of that physical body potential that he showed 4 years ago when he got drafted, looking in the best shape of his life right now, making up for those calls that he was lazy last year, working his butt off, comes out, gets a couple tackles in the run game, and gets a nice sack off the edge. Good sack for him. That's what I wanted to see out of Leal. This was a good first game for him. He needed this badly to make this roster and played well. Loudermilk, nothing special. Does get a quarterback pressure tonight and 2 or 3 running back tackles, so plays decent in the run game. Just a solid player, a good backup rotational player that can fill in once in a while. Does what Loudermilk always does. Like him a lot. Montravis Adams comes in early. Keanu Benton went down with an eye injury, did not return. I hope that's not Not serious, because that guy should be a stud this year. Montravius Adams comes in. He gets a sack. He doesn't get very many sacks in his career. He's not a big sack guy. He's more of a run stuffer. But he gets a nice sack tonight on his first series, and then gets a batted ball on a third down to get us off the field on another series. So 2 series for him and 2 gigantic plays for Montravius Adams. Leal, Loudermilk, Adams all look good tonight. Not a ton tonight from Logan Lee, but did look okay out there. Was around the ball when he was there. Didn't make any special plays, but did get 1 or 2 tackles. I didn't see Braden Fehoko playing at all, so I don't know if he just was playing and not making a ton of plays, or if he was out of this game, but I didn't see him play much. So that is your defensive line battle for the day. Looking at linebackers, Peyton Wilson got the start because Patrick Queen was not playing in this game. He's a star, and he's got a banged up, I think, foot. Nothing serious, just precautionary. So Peyton Wilson played almost all of the game and looked overall really good. Had a nice opening special teams tackle out there. Had several tackles. He was around the ball a lot tonight. He had a good pass deflection, or I think it might have been a drop pass. He had one good play in pass coverage, and then 1 play where he was on the ball, but the guy dropped it. So looking pretty good in pass coverage overall. Did get beat by the running back on 1 play later on, and also did miss 1 tackle on a third down. He was coming up to make a tackle on a running back, missed, and then Mark Robinson made the play. So 2 negative plays for Peyton Wilson, but like 8 positive plays, 1 on special teams, and about 7 in there. Had a nice blitz off the edge at one point for a quarterback pressure. Like I said, 1 or 2 nice plays in pass coverage, and was around the was around the running back a lot today. Was making plays in the run game, hitting the gaps, around the ball, in the clusters, finishing off guys. I like what I'm seeing from Peyton Wilson, major plus. This is going to sound nitpicky, but I'm going to give Mark Robinson a minus today. Did make the nice play that Peyton Wilson missed. He's a good tackler. He's good around the line of scrimmage. He's decent in the run game, but he takes really bad angles. He got beat for 2 or 3 between the slot corners and the inside linebackers besides Peyton Wilson in this game. They were getting gashed for those small plays. They were lining receivers up in the slot, or tight ends or linebackers. Tight ends had 3 catches. Running backs had 5 or 6. They were doing a bulk of the work against Mark Robinson and a couple of the other guys, Beanie Bishop, Anthony Averett. So I'm going to give Mark Robinson, for a couple bad angles and a couple of just not good coverage things, I'm going to give Mark Robinson a minus, in spite of the fact that he did make a few plays in the run game in this one. 2 outside linebackers that came in with very little hype. 2 guys that I've seen around a little bit, seen in the league, heard their names, but didn't know very much about it all, and was pleasantly surprised by 2 of the biggest positives of the day: Kyron Johnson and Jeremiah Moon. Kyron Johnson made 4 nice plays. He was around the quarterback for a pressure where he almost got a sack early. Then he came out. I think he did get a sack later in the game. Had a really nice tackle for a loss on the running back in the backfield in the 4th quarter, and then got a stuff on a third down in the run game as well. Was around the ball a whole lot. Only was listed, I think, for like 3 tackles in this game. Looked like he was around about 6 plays. Made 4 big ones, including 2 for a loss. But I like Kyron Johnson a lot. He was the biggest surprise for me out of anybody. Of all the guys that I wasn't paying attention to coming into the game, whose names I know now, Kyron Johnson's right up there. Jeremiah Moon also made some plays today. I think he led the team with 4 tackles, tied with 4 tackles. Also got a nice quarterback sack off the edge. He's an ex-Baltimore Raven. Was hitting guys hard. Was making a few hits in there. Jeremiah Moon. These are 2 guys that are looking for that 4th outside linebacker spot. They don't have much of a chance to make it. They're hoping to get a special teams spot here on this team. We already have our 4 guys, obviously, with Golden, Herbig, TJ, and Highsmith. So these 2 guys have no shot to make it based on their outside linebacker play. But if they do enough here and on special teams, one of them got a shot. They're playing against each other, but I liked both tonight. Another one that I like tonight, it's a small positive for Ryan Watts, the big-bodied corner out of Texas, who they kind of have been converting to safety. I think he played a little bit of both here. He didn't do much in terms of coverage stuff, but he was running up and chasing tackle, right? Going up again on the long downs, tackling the guys. He was around the ball in the run game, was around the ball in the middle of the field in the short pass game. He was making some hits tonight. Nothing spectacular, didn't super stand out, but made enough plays to get noticed by me here. Corners were overall quiet. JPJ, the 1 pass interference. Didn't see Dante Jackson out there much at all. I didn't see Trice or Rush much. The only two times their name were called, Trice got one really nice tackle on the backfield on a short pass play that he diagnosed well in the fourth quarter, and Rush got beat on the third down, but he was all over the guy. Great coverage, blanket coverage, good hands, good tackle. The guy just made a better play. So two good plays out of those guys, but didn't play much and didn't do much early until the fourth quarter. Surprised not to see more of them when Ryan Watts was out there making plays. So surprised on that. Plus/minus, positive and negative for our two slot guys tonight, Beanie Bishop and Anthony Averett. Bishop made a couple of plays. He was around the ball. Did a few things in the run game. One or two tackles in the run game. Was really doing a good job off the edge, blitzing. Had two good edge rushes where he wasn't accounted for. Hit the quarterback once, just missed him a second time. Didn't get either sack, but got two nice pressures there. We like to see that kind of Mike Hilton hybrid style from Beanie. The coverage tonight left a little to be desired. I didn't love Beanie's coverage. He was beat across the middle a few times. Seemed like when he was playing the outside, he was playing okay. Like playing guys going toward the outside, he was playing okay. When he was playing a pure slot or playing across the middle trying to man guys, he wasn't playing quite as well. So some positives there, some negatives. Still more to look at from Beanie Bishop. Anthony Averett was a little weaker than Bishop. Bishop was the better of the two slot guys tonight. Averett did get beat a bit, but also made some hits. I think he had a tackle in the run game, and then also a couple things on some short pass plays. So positive and minuses, pluses and minuses for Beanie and Averett. Special teams overall gets a minus. No big returns. John Reese Plumlee had a couple okay ones. There was the Quez Watkins fumble. There was also a bad snap leading to a missed field goal from our backup field goal kicker. So a little sloppy shop in that regard. Also, there was a holding on a return as well today. So special teams overall, a negative. Pittsburgh loses 20-12. The loss means nothing. But what did you guys think? Who stood out to you? Who were your big positives? Who were your big negatives? Who did you want to see that you didn't get to see? Who do you now see that showed out in this game that you now want to see more of? There's only 3 preseason games now as of the last couple of years. So this is going to be our dress rehearsal the next game. We're going to have our dress rehearsal in week 2 and then kind of our third and fourth string guys playing in week 3. So what are you looking forward to? Do we need to see Russ? Has Justin Fields done enough? What do you think about these backup running backs? Who has cemented themselves at wide receiver? What do you think about our rookies? Talk about everybody in the comments down below. What do you think of my list and who is on your list? Tell me about it. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like these Steeler game review deep dives, and I will come back this week if I can with both a Steelers Week 2 preseason preview and a Steelers Week 2 preseason review when the game is over. Go Steelers. I will talk to you guys this week and see you soon.